So mystical here. I really love it. Hey, dude. Oh gosh.
Beware the words.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation
What?
in my mind.
Weiss's voice rose in a quizzical
It
way.
is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his
Perhaps we
eyes.
should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The mayor stared at Ray and Weiss.
You can speak to me. I must have caught you in my dream.
In your
Dream?
dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the forest of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their dreams. What? The village mayor had determined the Death Dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Oh God, it got bigger! Weiss stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching
Now, see
slightly.
here. Are you
He
saying
said.
that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes. I
Said
think
the
you
mayor.
have.
In other words,
Said
we've
Ray.
caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Ray's suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous, preposterous, completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Rip. Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's
My
remarks.
remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who Ray had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word.
Whoa!
Something.
Ray and Weiss racked their brains but could find no easy solutions. They were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his
It
pride.
does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrow.
Oh, well, oh, excuse me,
It
Weiss.
has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked skyward as if searching for answers in the
I
heavens.
was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
This is hilarious. The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Ray like a contagion. Oh God. Wait, said Ray suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Said the mayor. Some specific combination of words. What was it? It was about dreaming, or something about that dreams, or... Oh, what the hell was it? A sheep, cried Weiss, suddenly blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Ray's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream. That's what he said. I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheath of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Ray. That sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect the people from wherever comes along, but I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Weiss immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a dream in your dreams, or a disease in your dreams. he said, but perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said, to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Ray nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second. I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, said Ray, just ask. Now hold on. I did not just say that. Silence! Cried Weiss. The Grimoire looked from Ray to the mayor and back in, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Weiss's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said, you're right, I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Weiss, and dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he cried at the departing forms of Ray and Weiss. We're all counting on you. As Ray slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? Ray's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident that he could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Jeez. Additionally, Weiss was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging Ray to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Ray snapped. Okay, Weiss, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Ray leaned against the tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, I can't say that. Cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Ugh. Ray slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Weiss, what's going on? Ray could see Weiss' mouth move, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then just as Ray's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the forest, or the woods. Zee, 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 zee. What the fuck? Wooma? As the insect symphony dimmed in another decibel, Ray began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. 1 with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? What? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place? Then I leave it to you to answer. Okay, Weiss. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Is it a secret? Inwardly furious that Weiss left the task to him, Ray sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret, right? The sound of the insect stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Ray like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest anthropods are making a road for us, said Weiss with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Ray moved on with renewed intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Ray after a bit. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Ray picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Weiss. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sunk to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. What? I enter through the window but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, barked Weiss. Now answer it. Ray grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right after all. This one is pretty easy. I enter through the window but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look, cried Way? Cried Ray, awaking Weiss from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Weiss? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Ray walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. What? Began Ray, but before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but in the night with 3. What am I? What? Ray tried to ask the cloakman who he was and what he was doing, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Weiss, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose so, said Ray. Well, at least it's an easy one. Is it? I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but in the night with 3. What am I? Four legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but in the night with 3. What am I? A man, a demon, an angel? I don't really know. 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but in the night with 3? A man? The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Ray. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, a version of you that was not yourself. What? Sorry, what's that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the death dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Ray watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. Excuse me? When Ray and Weiss returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he cried. You made it. You actually made it back. His left hand grasped Ray's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Weiss by the cover and swung him through the air. Jesus. God, by the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Ray withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the death dream seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Ray filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them lay down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Ray cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of the place is futility itself. Ray and the mayor immediately reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? Continued Weiss. It is words that control the death dream, words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor, the first time I felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were caught up by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear they had awakened from their dream. Oh my gosh. That was an interesting bit. Ray shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. The two had no idea how much this means. The death dream was spreading through our village, and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Ray and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor as a weary smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I am sure, said Weiss. For now you shall return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the death dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Weiss. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as the sealed verse. Woo! Ray and Weiss could not contain their surprise. It seemed our goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Weiss, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Ray mentioned the strange man who had been given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before, too. Ray tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Ray gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? What is happening? The riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm tired of talking and reading.
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Ooh.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes.
For real?
All a touch too easy, if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink it, Weiss.
It was. Someone was guiding us here. I keep clicking that by accident. Yeah, I want to change that one to that one. God, I was trying to click it. It was being weird. Alright, it says we have to return to Popola, but he said we can rescue the other villagers. So I think we'll do that real quick.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
Can't say I'm
Yes.
very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Okay, Weiss. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath the stairway in the long, unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside, I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Excuse me. Time passes. An eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior! I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is the product of my addled mind? Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all gods, help me. Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn down and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands, covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is Ray. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Ray extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pulling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's excuse me. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in the castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. Oh god. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. Okay. Proceed north. And the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses! I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. Oh gosh. I look from it to the beds and back again till the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they are alive or dead, I do not know. Insanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving the most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed, oh gosh, east? North? What the heck? I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recall in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul and wriggling insects have made the homes in their remains, and this is the moment. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. Just desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chair upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. Oh god, this explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate dinners were dead when the meal begun. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasped frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was punishment, though in truth I suspect they had not committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, against all hope, we make it to the front door. Holy crap. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself to the effort. In tandem with Ray and Grimoire Weiss, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears rejoin the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress? Asked Weiss. Then you are a woman, madam? I am. I prefer the two a smile. I suppose that comes as something as surprising as how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Ray is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description. What the? But he hides it well! I would never. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind has taken place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades. What? Are shades just dead people?
Do you have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth.
I hear that.
Oh, I skipped him. Oh.
Thank you so much for saving me. I never want to have a dream like that again.
Yeah, let's hope you don't. Alright, let's do now.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
It really is. My throat is going to be so messed up
Figured it
later.
looked like you would be into all this word stuff, Weiss.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
A colony of massive sculptors was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Weiss and Ray had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widen as they try to take it in.
Must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Weiss?
As Weiss considers his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
There's some manner of mirage.
He said. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Ray nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. I'm thirsty too, dang. Give me a second. The ancient road on which they walked was blacked and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface as if denying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Ray lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. Weiss tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said? No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Ray glanced at Weiss' screaming face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, Ray's feet grew more painful and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We are definitely getting closer, said Weiss in an effort to cheer his companion. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, Ray lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide and his finger pointing in the distance. Water, he cried. It's water. Water? Asked Weiss. Preposterous. I don't see any water. Over there, just ahead of us. Look, the sun is reflecting off of it. Without waiting for a response, Ray sprang to life and bounded towards the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Ray closed his eyes and sighed as Weiss floated up behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, he said. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. Ray shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait, there it is! I just missed it! Look, it's right there! Ray sprinted off again, leaving Weiss with no choice but to follow. Oh my gosh. After a few minutes of running, Ray came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hand up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue shimmering pool of clean water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an aspirated Weiss finally floated up to Ray and struck him in the face with his cover. He just tackled us. Body slam. Enough, you blithering idiot. Stop this at once. There is no water here. Ray's face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much. Weiss paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we arrived in the city of art. Ray looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge, cried Ray, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangular that stretched up towards the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. What kind of city is this? Said Ray. Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles were staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Ray and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Ray uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and final one read Gamma. As Ray moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. What? Oh, no. More riddles! With that, the bird departed. As if on cue, the 3 statues shredded to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said Ray. They're alive. The triplets bowed low before Ray. Please, said Alpha, you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to Ray and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake, you know. I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta is fake. Everyone knows I'm the real one around here. The respected pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. What? When you consider all of the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, said Weiss. Ray furrowed his eyebrows and considered his answer. Okay, let's see. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth, the false ones will only speak lies. Okay, Alpha said he's the real one. Get him out of this nightmare. This music, though. I'm loving it. The real one is Beta. He said that Alpha was fake. He was the real one. And Gamma said Beta's the fake one. And he's the real one. Gamma's lying. And I think Alpha's lying. Because he didn't accuse any of the other 2. But Beta accused Alpha and said he was real, but Gamma said he was fake and he was real, so he must be lying, Gamma. I don't know if I'm right. The real one is Beta. The raised voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence. He was relieved to see Weiss nodding. That was some backward-ass logic I just did. If Alpha were telling the truth, began Weiss in a dry tones of lecture, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in the case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar. Yeah, that's what exactly. Therefore, that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with two statues telling the truth. Exactly. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense. Therefore, Beta must be the real one. As Weiss finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villagers, said Weiss in a cheerful voice. The time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as he could go before an uncomfortable ray pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this, said Weiss. Have you been to the city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. But at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered Ray, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Ray during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
That was.
Positive I have seen that place before.
Are we having like alternate dimensions
Okay,
going
that's
on?
enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
Bruh, my voice is gonna be
You're
so
telling
messed
me.
up later.
Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
I thought I was a goner there. Thanks for the help. What a strange dream. Almost felt familiar somehow.
I wonder. Very curious about this.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something.
One-handed sword fate.
valuable. I
Ooh.
can really have it?
Of course, it's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Most definitely. Thanks.
For everything.
Alright, let's get back to Popola. Tell her that we fixed the dreams.
So how was the village?
Oh. Alright, she didn't come in with us.
It was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
There are no words.
Neat.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
For real. There's something called a death dream? Hey. Let us in. Oh, it's like a... Okay.
The death dream certainly is a strange illness.
It really freaking
Yeah.
is.
It was something, all right.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
I'm okay.
I don't know, man.
I can't just sit around all day while Yonah's sick, after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. Have you heard about our plans to repair the canal? The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, we can use the canal for trade and travel and all kinds of useful things.
That sounds very awesome.
However, we're a bit behind schedule at the moment. If you're willing to help out, I'd really appreciate it.
No
Sure.
problem. What do you need?
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project hasn't shown up for work in a few days. I'm starting to get a little worried. So, maybe you can head over to Seafront and check up on him? I'll mark the location of his house on your map. He always carries a red bag over his shoulder, so he should be easy enough to find.
Got it.
Let's hope he didn't get the Black Scrawl.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am borne aloft by the winds, lad? It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh,
Really?
really?
You could at least try to hide the utter dismay, you know.
It's sunny out. I wonder if we'll ever get to that mansion right there. Is that him? Is he okay?
Hey, are you the guy who's supposed to help repair the canal? Popola sent me to...
Oh god, it's over. My life is over.
Surely you must realize nothing good can come of being involved with this particular endeavor.
Well, we have to find a way.
Weiss. Hey, so, are you alright? What happened?
It's my wife. She left home a week ago and hasn't come back. I'm so worried I can't even focus on my work. Oh, my sweet dumpling, where are you?
Wow, that's terrible. Would you like us to help you look for her?
Really? You do that for me?
Sure. But do you have any idea where we should start?
Well, she always used to enjoy drinking at the tavern with her friends.
Alright, then I guess we'll start with them.
Thank you. This means the world to me. Oh, and by the way, my wife always carries a red bag, just like mine. If you mention that, it might ring some bells.
I've met some odd couples in my day, but none who felt the need to wander about flaunting matching luggage.
You need to get with the times. Coordinated outfits are all the rage. Plus, these bags are special. We bought them for our anniversary. But now my sweet dumpling is gone. And it's all my
Oh my
fault.
goodness, dude.
Oh god.
How is it your fault?
Okay, just stay calm. We'll go look for her, alright? You sit tight.
Oh boy.
I'm willing to
That dude
bet
is
that man
hopeless.
knows more about his wife absconding than he's letting on.
Probably. He said it was his fault. How would this be your fault? You said she left and didn't come back.
Hey there, I'm, looking for a woman carrying a red bag.
Are you now? Interesting. Did something happen to her?
She hasn't been home and her husband's worried. Do you know anything about where she might be?
Trouble in paradise, is it? Oh, those two never change. Anyway, the short answer is no. She hasn't been around here either. Though come to think of it, she always got on well with the woman over at the tackle shop. Maybe you should try her?
I'll do that. Thanks.
Hey, what's the rush? You've got a cute face. Why not sit here and join me for a round? Or 3?
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not old enough to drink.
Yeah. Stop it. I'm out.
Hey there, do you know a woman with a red bag by any chance?
A red bag? Oh, sure. Although now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Last time she came around, she mentioned something about leaving town. But I figured it was just idle talk.
Leaving town, huh? Alright, thanks for your time.
Where would she go?
If she has truly left this charming hamlet, finding her may prove most difficult indeed.
I just hope she hasn't been attacked by shades or anything.
Wait, what? Are we supposed to just find her? I wonder if she went to the mansion. Ah, it's cloudy, so that shade's around. It's a shade!
Something about that shade seems rather odd.
Hey, look at this.
It is identical to the red satchel carried by the man who sent us on this mad quest. Perhaps it belongs to his spouse.
Oh no. Do you think the shades got her?
I fear it likely, lad. I sense no other activity in the immediate vicinity. We were too late.
Well, this is terrible. What are we supposed to say?
However difficult it may be, we've no choice but to tell the man the truth.
Yeah. At least we didn't have to go far to find that. He is going to be devastated.
Hey, did you find my sweet dumpling?
We didn't, but we got this off a shade.
Oh no. This is hers.
So our fears were correct.
Oh god. How could this happen to her? This is all my fault.
How was it your fault?
If I
Ask
may,
the man.
my good man, why did your wife leave home in the first place?
It's because I
think we should give him some time to himself, Weiss.
What?
Dumpling, you're not dead.
What in the world are you talking about? Oh, you found my bag. Thank you so much. I can't believe I went and dropped it like that.
Oh, this is such a relief.
Okay, seriously. What's going on?
I'm not really sure. 5 minutes later.
I see. So, you found a shade with my bag and assumed I'd been attacked and killed?
I'm just glad you're safe, Dumpling, but I'm also so sorry. This is all my fault.
You keep saying
I
that.
didn't eat that apple you were saving. Oh, God, I'm such an idiot.
What the heck?
I promise I'll never eat anything of yours again. You just promise never to run away from home again, okay?
Run away? Have you lost your mind? I just went to visit my parents.
Huh?
I told you about this. Going to see my family, gone for a week. Remember? Ugh, are you serious right now? Why don't you ever listen to me?
Lad, my brilliant intuition suggests we should beat a hasty retreat from these two with all speed.
Oh no. I kind of want to
I
listen.
can't believe you didn't listen to me, and you ate my apple. Ugh, you are the absolute worst.
What? Oh, like you're some perfect angel. You didn't even care enough about our anniversary to hang on to your bag. You, kid.
Oh,
I'm
God.
right about this, yeah? If anyone's wrong here, it's my wife, right?
Wait, you're asking me?
Bruh, it's the husband who ate. It's not because he ate the apples, because he forgot that she was going to her parents.
Well, you shouldn't have eaten your wife's apple. That's not nice.
I was hungry, and it was just sitting there. Look, I'm glad you went looking for my wife and all, but that was low, friend. Low.
Uh-oh. Did I cross a line there?
Besides, it's pretty rich to come after me for an apple when you threw away my entire stamp collection.
Ha! You're damn right I did, and I'd do it again. You are nothing but a hoarding slob. You there. My husband's in the wrong here, isn't he?
Pardon, but madam, Oh, enough. But both of you are at fault. Now apologize to one another and end this ridiculous display.
Thanks, Weiss.
Magazine.
I see you finally agree on something.
Wow. That's rough. 1 hour? We were sitting here for an hour?
Do you not even understand how frustrating this is, you colossal oaf? This is exactly what I hate about you.
Oh my goodness.
Fine, hate me. I'll still sleep like a baby knowing I'm not an unreasonable hag like you.
Weiss, what do I do?
You turn on your heel and walk away as fast as your legs can carry you, my good lad.
That's it. I have had enough. Instead of belittling me, why don't you get a proper job? Everyone in the neighborhood treats me like dirt, and it's all because of my unemployed slob of a husband.
Actually, I have a job now.
Wait, you what? You're kidding. Why didn't you tell me? That's great.
Well, I sort of wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, you big silly Billy. Well, this calls for a celebration. Come on, I'm going to bake you a nice apple pie.
With what apple? Dude, can you just come to work?
I have no idea what just transpired, but it has utterly exhausted me.
Well, looks like they made up, so all's well that ends well.
In the course of all that madness, I have forgotten why we
To tell the dude to come to work.
in the first place.
Oh heck, the canal. We need to ask him about the canal.
Where did he go? Listen, dude.
I can't thank you enough for all your help.
Sure, but listen, we need to talk to you about the canal.
All right. That's why you came here in the first place, huh? Well, now that my love life is rolling in clover again, I'd be more happy to get going on the canal work.
good. Cool. I felt like this was just... Yeah, it was very exhausting.
Anyway, let's go give Popola an update.